Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome back to another Going Old School Retro Discussions. It's always so much fun to be able to talk about all this stuff from all those years past because they bring back such fond memories. I see Bone is already in the chat. What's going on, Bone? Darius Munchausen, what is up, buddy? Parrothead, always a pleasure to see you, my friend. And of course, we have got another Rogues panel of wonderful people on here to talk about it, and they are really into some crazy stuff.
Very interesting. I see your hobbies are drinking, smoking weed, and all types of ill shit.
So with that, we are going to bring in our first guest. We got JJ. What's going on, JJ?
What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing tonight? Man, you need to change this fucking layout. This is weird. Everybody can see the boogers up my. There we go. Yeah, everybody can see the boogers up my nose. And shit.
Much better.
Yeah. Going old school, not going up someone's nose. That's better, you know. What's going on, Tommy? You making home all right?
Man. Chilling, man. Yeah, nice long drive home from freaking Jersey. A lot of detours, a lot of everything else, but I made it back in one piece, and the car didn't implode on me like I thought it was going to.
Awesome.
But
so no real headaches. So that's good.
Yeah, no, it was pretty good. It's pretty good. So also joining us tonight.
Move out of that seat and I'll split your lip.
We got Han Star. What's going on, Han Star?
Hello, everybody. Oh, it's kind of early for me to be on a stream. There's like light behind me, which is a thing called a window that people don't normally notice. JJ one time was like, "What's that behind you?" And I was like, "It's a window." You normally don't notice that because it's night. So
what's that thing in between the window and the outside? A screen?
Yeah. You kind of get more light than you normally do in my office.
He's got the for real natural light.
Yeah, there's actual natural light behind me. But I'm glad to be here. Hello, Tommy. I'm glad you got home safely. Hello, JJ. Good to see you as always, brother.
What's up, hon?
And I got some new bulbs because I have a light that's not been cooperating. So I have some new smart bulbs to fix that. Not that anybody cares about that other than me. Yeah. So you see Hanstar kind of in a better light, not necessarily a better light.
We're actually seeing you in the light.
Yeah,
we can see that pimple on the top of your head.
There's not as much darkness behind me to conceal things that I want to conceal.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah.
Oh, Wookie.
Hello, everybody. And
Wookie, what's going on?
Hello, everybody in the chat.
Keck 44. What's going on?
Darius wants to know where's the JJ cut?
It's probably still being cut.
Bone. He's saying hi to everybody else. Yvette, how are you doing this evening? Always a pleasure to see you. RR, what's going on, buddy? Chilling like a super guinea pig villain. God damn, I love that. Yeah, we are the most hated guinea pigs on YouTube. This is actually 100% fact. They hate the holy shit out of us. Don't drink natural light. What's going on, Kick 44?
I drink natural ice. It's better than natural light.
Also joining us, we got somebody else who I worry about him every time he shows up.
Anybody ever try to take your man?
We got Jens Peters. What's going on, Jens?
Yeah, doing good. Even though, I'm just getting insulted all the time by you, Tommy.
But it's done.
Yeah, you got that total gym. Got that total gym kicking.
Yeah, but the retro discussion is so good. Yeah, I just take the aggression out on the total gym. I'll have to start doing my total gym on the stream just to get that aggression out.
Oh,
at least
it got Snowed up in the chat.
What's up, Cotton Connection? What's up, Snow?
What's up, brother?
And our last guest really needs no introduction. He's somebody that gets people upset if they can't take it, and you know what happens to those type of people?
Snowflakes melt when it's hot, kid.
We got Steve Kenobi ready to drop the puns. What's going on, Steve?
Hello there. Doing quite well. Doing quite well. Ate too much dinner though, so I'm kind of stuffed.
Oh, come on. That means you just sit there and be fat and sassy and let the puns flow.
Yeah, I ate so much I'm sitting on the first potato.
Oh, damn.
Well, Stig. Well, Stig, if you're going to belch in that, could you mute your mic for us? Because I hate it when people belch right into the mic.
Oh, come on, man. You hate everybody that gets personal with you? Come on.
Yeah. No, I'll mute myself if I have to belch.
Yeah, because when you got earphones in, it's like the right in your ear, and it's like,
So I was actually planning on talking.
Anyone who sniffs right.
Ooh.
Jens, don't make me
He roboted it.
Don't make me do it, Jens. It's too early in the stream.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay then. Save it for later, Tony. Save it for later.
Nibble.
Well, I was actually planning on doing one discussion, but I'm thinking about it more. And Stig's here for a limited time because the poor man has been up all damn day. It's a whole different time zone there. It's a whole different way of life. I mean, they're still living like Vikings. They're going out in the ships, or So we're gonna run into actually our main topic, and we're gonna start with that first. So tonight's main topic is a story written by George Lucas and Philip Kaufman, screenplay by Lawrence Kasdan, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Harrison Ford, Karen Allen, Paul Freeman, 1981's Indiana Jones, with a runtime of 1 hour and 55 minutes. This is the story of the 1936 archaeologist adventurer Indiana Jones, who was hired by the U.S. government to find and acquire the Ark of the Covenant before the Nazis do, and he's also going up against his arch rival, Belloc. Now, this film was estimated to be $18 million for production. So, with a $248,159,971 Canadian and U.S. gross and a worldwide gross of $389,925,971, this won more than made up for his actual production cost. So, when we go
what it took to make a movie was less than what the actors got paid. You know what I'm saying? All the actors together got paid more than how much? Wait a minute. You said 18 million or 180 million?
18 million.
Yeah.
18 million.
The actors got paid more than that. Okay, all total, everybody, the actors, the director, everybody made more than 18 million. And that one movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark, made more than its money back.
Oh, way more.
Want to know why? It's very simple. It was actually made by people who have talent. That's what happens.
Not only people that had talent, but people who actually cared about story and how the story would progress. Telling something that was going to capture somebody's attention. And I mean, at that time, Harrison Ford, while he cut his teeth in Star Wars and everything like that, he was still not the big actor that everybody knows him for today. He was still cutting his teeth in the movie field. So really, they took a bit of a gamble, but Lucas is actually the one that suggested to Steven Spielberg to actually bring Harrison Ford on for this part, which was a windfall for Harrison.
Yeah, that was after Tom Selleck had to say no, though. Tom Selleck was the main choice.
And I couldn't imagine that.
No, I don't think that would have worked at all. Not at all.
I don't know that anybody wants to imagine that.
Well, I want to whet everybody's appetite for talking about this movie. I'm going to play a small segmented clips from the movie, from very first one. I mean, we're going to wind up talking a little bit about the franchise that is spun afterwards, including some of the EU novels and the comics. But let's start off with that first movie, the thing that got it started. So here we go. You know what? I think this is the scene more than anything that everybody remembers from this movie. That boulder scene.
Oh, yeah.
Wait.
I'll tell you everything.
You know, this movie right here can definitely say, by all of our standards, is a classic.
Let her go.
Yeah, grab it, grab it, grab it.
Okay.
I love this scene.
And the funny thing is, they still made a figure for him. He was in the whole movie for what, like 10 seconds?
Even you may be worth something.
Son of a bitch.
You got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, tough road.
Yo, I saw how they made this particular scene, and it was wonderful, man.
Well, that was the thing, and all the practical effects they used to do back then, they just don't do that kind of shit really anymore.
Yeah, when they film this scene, that soul truck is running over like a rut in the road, which is where the body lays. And she's hot.
What'd you say?
Marion, don't look at it. Shut your eyes, Marion. Don't look at it no matter what happens.
Well, I think that was another thing about this movie that actually made it so special. Yeah, you had all the action, you had the, the adventure, you had all the mystery revolving around these ancient artifacts, but they put enough of a little bit of comedy scenes in there too, just to break the levity of all the other stuff.
And everybody in this film scene, to make that work, everybody had light bulbs hanging on the front of them.
The art is a source of unspeakable power, and it has to be researched. And it will be, I assure you, Dr. Brody, Dr. Jones. We have top men working on it right now.
Thank you, Tommy. I have to go watch this movie again.
And that's what this stream is all about. And I don't care what anybody says. This is one of those movies for me that it stands the test of time. It does.
Oh yeah.
Every time I watch it, it feels like the first time I watched it. Honestly, with the way the movie was made.
I have a little trivia for you though, if you want to hear it.
No, go for it.
The fat CIA guy. That's Porkins from Star Wars.
Is it really?
Yeah. Also plays Eckhart in the Batman '89 movie.
That's Porkins?
Yep. And the big guy he fights at the airplane?
Yeah.
He also played the big guy he fought in the bar earlier in the movie. And plays the big guy he keeps fighting in Indiana Jones 2.
And he also plays in Conan the Barbarian, Conan the Destroyer, Conan the Barbarian 2. He plays like the wizard. Pat Roach, he was like a wrestler, a British wrestler.
Yep. Also played the General Kale on Willow. Also,
that guy got around.
Yeah. Well, and you know the fight scene. Not a fight scene, but the one with the sword guy that he shoots in the face.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be a big fight, but Harrison Ford had diarrhea.
Yeah. He wasn't feeling well that day, so they just improvised and he shot him.
And I think he did, and Harrison Ford did say, "Well, I've got a gun here because in the film he still got his gun here. So why would I fight him when I've got my gun and all? So it's like, and I'm feeling ill, so I can't just shoot him." I was like, "Yeah, okay then."
What?
And John Rhys Davis in a deleted scene shot himself. Yeah,
really?
Yeah, there's a scene.
Oh my god!
They're about to execute him. And the scene was cut, but he was so sick he soiled himself.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
All right, Han Star, I see you chomping at the bit. Shut up, Jens. I see you chomping at the bit, Han. What did you have to say?
No, this movie makes me think of well, A, obviously it's an awesome movie. I think we all agree on that. B, it makes me think of my childhood because how many of us as kids had or wanted a bullwhip is what I would call it, an Indiana Jones whip. And a friend of mine actually had one of those Indiana Jones bullwhips, and I thought he was the coolest person ever because he had like an Indiana Jones bullwhip is what we called them. I don't know what the actual name for them would be. That's what we called them.
A whip.
Yeah,
bullwhip.
A whip.
I had a whip, which because a bullwhip is bigger and thicker. I just had a normal whip.
My friend had like the literal wide up in a big thing, cool big ass bullwhip like Indiana Jones had, and I thought he was the coolest person ever because he got that for like Christmas or his birthday one year, and I was like, "Oh, you fucking bastard! That's the sweetest thing ever."
Yeah,
and
the real
like
dangerous
Indiana
and all.
Jones, and like Indiana Jones, he'd like walk around his backyard with his whip and like, do stuff
Cracking
with
it.
Yeah, like cracking it.
You had to take care of them because we actually had one too. My father, he was going out and he was buying the Stetson hats, like the legitimate Stetson hats where they made them for Indiana Jones, where it actually had the label on the inside. He had those. He went out and he bought a really fancy bullwhip and everything like that. And I remember, unfortunately, I was the one that had to sit there and oil the damn whip because he didn't want to be bothered doing it. Like, make the kid do it. Make him, The whip was supposed to be half mine, but he took ownership of it. And now I could play with it as long as I was oiling it, and I could only mess with it in the house. I was not allowed to take it outside and crack the whip. He went out and bought me those cheap, the little cheap $5 ones that would fall apart about 20 cracks in. That's what he gave me.
And unfortunately, my friend did not oil his whip, so that's kind of what happened to his. Is over time, the next year or two, it kind of degraded and started to fall apart.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, make note. You've got to oil your whip.
Yeah.
Yep. Always put oil in it.
Do me a favor,
I'm sure
Tommy.
she oils her whip.
Do me a favor. Highlight Yvette's last comment. The big.
Well, hold on. I'm going to get to the chat in a second here before we continue. So, I see the Sentinel. Cool. I see the Sentinels in there. What's going on? It's really too bad that the Mummy franchise with Brandon Fraser couldn't take the next step like Indy did with Temple Doom. Yeah, you know what? That was a fun series. And don't get me wrong, I think there was a few stinkers in the Mummy series, especially when Brandon Fraser wasn't in it. I mean, because you know what? I think The Rock by himself, he wasn't handling those sidebar movies to that franchise. What's going on, Night Send? Shut your eyes, Indy.
All of the big hits The Rock has had in terms of movies have been movies where he's surrounded by good actors.
Yeah,
he's never had a big hit, and when he's the main.
Well, actually, I didn't mind the Scorpion King. I didn't, but I know it could have been better. Just like most films we watch.
Yeah, but I mean, it did lack something. I think it didn't feel quite.
And in the second Mummy movie, The Mummy Returns, when he basically comes in as the Scorpion King, that wasn't even him. That was a CGI model of him.
Yep.
I think with the Scorpion King, it was one of them where you knew what happens to the Scorpion King, and so there was some people I didn't really want bother watching it because they knew he turns into a baddie and tries to kill Brandon Fraser in the Mummy.
All right, let me get back to the chat real quick. So,
yeah, man.
Yvette DeVoyle says, the Sentinel, I agree, love the Mummy franchise. Inspired a tattoo I have. Nice. That's where the memes will start. Top whammon. Soul Assassin, what's going on, buddy? Thank you for coming. What's this movie night at the Guinea Pig Theater? Raiders. Yep, damn Skippy. The Guinea Pigs actually know how to pick some pretty good movies. I made them do all the picking for the movies when we decided to discuss them. Our film ages like
I agree with that. Yep. Like I said, by our standards, that movie is a classic. And
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Not a fan of the second one except the monkey brain scene. You know what? And don't get me wrong, I like Temple of Doom. I just didn't feel it was as strong as the first one.
No, none of them were.
I kind of liked Crusaders a little bit better than Temple of Doom. I don't know if that was just because of Sean Connery, but we'll get into that later. Luffy is God. What's going on? Thank you for coming. What's going on here? Are we daring YouTube to strike our channel now? No. Actually, Luffy is God. They can try it if they want to because under Article 107 of fair use, as long as we're doing a review and we're talking about the movie, if they try to hit me for it, they are going to lose. I've got protection. They can suck it. They will lose toes. R.R. Harrison suggested, why don't I just shoot the guy?
Yeah.
That also says my relative worked on The Mummy Returns and got me Brandon's director chair he sat in between scenes. Coffee stains and all. Plus it says Mummy 2, as it hadn't been named yet. Awesome. That actually is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I wanted a fedora. Yeah, that's one. Yeah, Soul Assassin. Like I said, my dad actually bought a few of those fedoras. One he used to wear all the time and wore it out. Another one he had kept brand new in a box. I don't remember where he put that one. I would love to find it. Nelson, the gentleman, thank you for coming. What is it, Indy? Don't come up here. And he looks in horror at naked pics, a PB walrus, bitch glued to a pillar. And superfan Adam Shawhan, what's going on? 3 had a better storyline, I feel, than 2. Yeah, you know what? I felt the same way. So let's get back into discussing the first one before we actually start really delving into the other movies in the franchise. So what was your takeaway? What was your favorite scene in the movie? Let's start off with something simple like that. JJ, you're up first.
My favorite in Raiders of the Lost Ark, my favorite scene is one of the ones that you showed. When they get the Ark open, you see this woman floating toward you, and then it just transforms into this horrible looking creature, whatever you want to call it, ghost, apparition. Yes. Say, yeah. When I saw that, I'm like, yes, that is awesome. That's probably my favorite scene of the entire movie.
Okay, Hans Star.
I mean, you called it. I love the boulder scene.
I think it was one of the most memorable scenes. That's probably why.
If you show anybody the boulder scene, and like I said, I hadn't seen this movie in a long time, but if you see the big boulder, the first thing that comes to your mind is, oh, Indiana Jones. That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what sticks out in my mind. I haven't seen this movie in a long time, and you show the boulder scene, and I'm like, yep, the big ass boulder.
Slasher's fucked. We're doing that movie.
I'll be there as long as I can.
Yeah, I know.
Great movie.
All right,
yeah,
Steve.
but that's my thing. Yeah, the boulder.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying that was my take. Is the big ass boulder.
Okay, Steve.
I think it's the scene where Indiana Jones and Sala are talking about the Ark, because it's informational, but it's also eerie. They kind of build it up a bit. You're not supposed to mess with this thing, right?
Right.
I like that scene. Weirdly enough, even though it's an action movie, but that one just stands out. Maybe it's the acting or the mood, atmosphere, something like that.
Yeah, so, I agree with him.
Xanadu collection. Got
all right,
yeah, that was a good scene. That was a good scene too. Jens, what was your favorite scene in this movie?
Oh well, you're showing it with Pat Roach and Harrison Ford fighting underneath the plane where Pat Roach is, because Harrison Ford, he's like 6'2" and that, but Pat Roach, I think he's like 6'5" or 6", and as you saw in there, he's quite biffed up in that, and so he makes Harrison Ford look like a woman, and Harrison Ford starts acting like a woman. But to be fair to him, when you're fighting Pat Roach, you don't want to go head to head with him, and that.
Yeah, you need to propel him forward.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
That's why Steve is
flow.
Yeah.
Just let him flow from you. Now, as far as me, I mean, there were so many actual incredible scenes in this movie. It's actually hard to pick one in particular. I love the ending scene, though. I love after everything he's gone through, after all the trials, all the tribulations, all the heartache, all the beatings that he took. In the end, all they did is they took the Ark and they put it in a big giant warehouse. There was something almost fitting for an ending for a movie to end like that, because it wasn't a tremendous happy ending, really, in the end, because they worked so hard to get this thing. Instead of being put somewhere on display and everything like that, it's being stuffed away by government officials.
Well, if I may be so bold in that particular scene, they're wheeling it away, and you see this full warehouse of all this shit. You kind of wonder what is in all these boxes. To me, seeing how they were in, I think, Egypt or somewhere like that, and it almost seemed Stargate-ish.
Yeah. You know what though? When that fight happened by the plane, Pat Roach literally had a face-off with Indiana Jones.
No, none of y'all got that. That's crazy.
Yeah, he got propelled into stardom with that.
I hear you, Luffy. I mean, there's a lot of people that actually do hope that it's going to be good. As far as Disney is concerned, I have no hope for him. But Luffy as God says, I can't wait for the new indie movie. I hope Kennedy and Waller-Bridge puts their magic touch on it. I want to see Ford's face after premiere. He killed Solo. Payback time. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of people that feel that way. They want to see this thing just fail and fail badly.
Yeah, there's a reason why Spielberg left, I think.
Well, you kind of noticed later on it didn't have the Spielberg touch on it. He does have a way with movies. I'm not a big fan of a lot of Spielberg's work, really, but this is one I can honestly say, great job. And after he left, the magic was gone.
Well, he's directed all 4.
Don't matter. Don't matter.
Number 5, he was gonna direct that one, but he left. What was it, last year? He quit the production, which is a bad sign for Indiana Jones 5.
Yes.
Yeah. A parrot has in the snake pit where they're separated by glass. Snakes were my favorite. Also, although I like the tune with the stick in the sun. Yeah, that was actually a pretty cool scene too. I like how they give you like little hints, like how they got to go through all this stuff to actually find the Ark. It wasn't just like, okay, we're going to go out in the desert, we're just going to dig it up. No, they actually had to do a bunch of things actually to get to that point. And I thought that was really important in the beginning of the movie when he goes to Nepal to meet up with Marion to try to get that little medallion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I remember talking to a museum worker in the warehouse full of boxes is very accurate. Yeah, I've heard that one from people that actually work from the government, that they have warehouses like that, just filled with shit.
Well, it's Area 51, isn't it? In Indiana Jones.
No.
4.
Oh, Indiana Jones 4, maybe.
Yeah, because we see the Ark in Indiana Jones 4.
Bad dates.
It's the same warehouse.
Okay.
Because
I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, one of the crates break open and you see the Ark in it, and you get the Ark theme music for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. This movie, in conjunction with everything that he did with Star Wars, I think that's really what made Harrison Ford a big player in Hollywood.
That's where he got his major start.
Yeah, I would think Star Wars by itself may not have been enough to actually propel him to that that sort of fandom that he wound up getting into. I think it was both of these movies.
It's because in Indiana Jones, he proved he could be a leading man.
Exactly.
That's very true. Because after he was in that, I can't remember the name of the movie, but with Ron Howard and George's first movie, not
American Graffiti.
American Graffiti.
Oh yeah, that's another.
After American Graffiti in 1977, that's where Harrison Ford got his break. Seriously, that's where he got his break, because not long after that, after Star Wars, after Indy, you started seeing him in all these types of movies, different types of movies, and that launched his career. They wanted Harrison Ford, okay, because he said it himself. After Star Wars, he's like, okay, time to get to work. Time to make some money.
And the funny thing is, he kind of like landed into the Star Wars world purely by accident, because he was just helping. He was just helping by reading lines, but he did the Han Solo read so well for the other people that were coming in that Lucas decided he was just going to use them instead. What's going on, Captain Robert April? So what I missed? We're talking about Indiana Jones. We're going to talk about the rest of the franchise too once we get through talking about the first movie. But there's so much to unpack with that first movie, because it's the one that actually started all. Because without that first movie, and everything and all the love that went into it. And you got to remember, once again, if it wasn't for George Lucas and Philip Kaufman writing that story, this wouldn't have happened. And Lucas, he had the opportunity to actually work on this film, but he decided he was passing this off to Spielberg to do. I forget exactly the reason why. Like, he felt it was more up his alley than, his own, or because he was tied down with his own projects working on Star Wars.
Yeah.
So,
because that was on
Mark is in Warehouse 13. Nelson the Gentleman, they put them in warehouses because they don't want to meddle with powers they can't possibly understand. Yeah, I mean, to a degree. And to a degree, it's that they just want to be able to store that stuff away so somebody else can't find out what kind of powers that are there and they can't use them. So, yeah.
Yeah, for our protection.
Yeah, but Harrison Ford, he used to be a stuntman and all, but I don't think he was like all that enthusiastic with the stuntman work than acting. So yeah, and so he got his big break with Star Wars, and because he lost all his teeth, didn't he? By like doing a stunt where you fall down with a horse, and apparently the horse headbutted his face, and he lost his teeth. So, I don't know.
Can't notice it though.
No,
this one though, this one right here, Captain Robert April. I do recall reading this one before. He was saying, he was doing carpentry work around George's house and was just doing George a favor during the auditions. There's a lot of people like Knight's End, and there's a lot of people here that realize that Harrison Ford wasn't really the pick for this movie, and it was Tom Selleck, but he, like I said, he landed into.
No.
He landed it by accident. But you know what? It was a happy accident, really. So now, as far as like the rest of this movie is concerned, were there any parts in it that any of you didn't like? Jens, we'll go with you first. Is there anything you didn't like about it?
No, not really. I liked it all. It was like real good. It was one of them, a bit like with Star Wars, where it was American and British sort of actors, sort of, but most of the cast and that. And so, like, you've got the American flair and excitement with the British sort of like, let's try and keep it sort of realistic. So, I don't have any bad. I guess if there's any bad points, it would be like the effects are a bit dated, but that's just nitpicking.
No, well, that would actually be, if you're talking about a movie of its time, that actually complaining about special effects is almost kind of a pointless thing. We're going to mix it up, and I'm going to ask Constor the same question. Was there anything about this movie you didn't like?
Honestly, I can't really think of anything. This is one of those movies, for better or worse, and it could be rose-tinted glasses from seeing this when I was younger, but it's just one of those movies that I can't really find any faults with. I mean, I just love this movie. Everything about it. To me, it's like a great old school movie that we don't really see anymore. And even if there's little things that nowadays I would like nitpick, it's like, but when you put it together for the time and my childhood memories and things like that, no, I can't pick anything apart with this movie.
I think for myself, the only thing that I could probably say I didn't like as much was how much time he actually spent in the pit with the snakes when they were sealed in. I thought that scene drugged just a little bit. All the other scenes in there, I didn't mind. I didn't mind when they were tied up at the end of the movie, and they were sitting there and they were showing the apparitions going around. But there was something like that one part in the Well of Souls that I think they stretched that scene out a little bit too much. That's just me. Steve, was there anything you didn't like about this movie?
Well, I'm going to give this movie a 10 out of 10 because it's, like Constar said, it's down there perfect. But there's one thing that always kind of bothered me, and that's how did Indiana Jones get inside the submarine?
Because those things are locked from the inside.
Yeah, and how the hell did he hide inside it? It's not like there's You know.
No, he didn't. He didn't apparently. He just hung on to the light, and because they never, presumably, they never went deep enough.
They never
that
submerged.
He just, yeah.
Also,
submerged.
the submarine is the same submarine they used in the German submarine movie Das Boot, which is the best submarine movie ever made. Same exact submarine.
What's going on, Bruce Lombardo? Thank you for coming. Bruce says Raiders is almost perfect. Curtis YZ, what's going on, Curtis? Curtis, you could have stopped up and talked about Indiana Jones unless you haven't seen it. And if you haven't, Curtis, you got to see it.
Put that on your list.
Holy crap, guys! I just realized that Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2 is the "You throw me the idol, I throw you the whip" guy. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Oh my God.
Yeah. And there was real spiders and all on his back. Because I think that they put a female spider on his back, and it like made the male spiders like with the bees sort of thing. So there's real spiders on his back.
Yes, Soul Assassin, there was.
Yeah, the spiders wouldn't move until they put a female one in with them. Then they started crawling like crazy over the guy's back.
Oh, so JJ, was there anything you didn't like about this movie? And if you want to hit on this here one from Soul Assassin, I know you said but if you want to explain it to everybody else.
Yeah. I have to kind of agree with Jens on this one, because if I were to pick anything, I'm just nitpicking, and it's just the movie's really not worth it. And I'd have to echo Stig. If we had to grade it, 10 out of 10, A+, however you want to grade it, because it was one of those movies of our time that really hit. You know what I'm saying? People love this movie. You very rarely hear anybody talking shit about this movie. It's just so hard to pick anything bad in it, even though there's probably some things they could have done differently. No doubt, every movie's that way. But as who was it? Someone said it. Hang on. Yeah, I've lost my place. Someone in the chat, the movie's damn near perfect. I have to agree with that.
That was Bruce Lombardo, I believe.
Yeah. Okay.
Right
I
there.
I agree with Bruce. That the movie is damn near perfect, because I don't say that much about many movies. I really don't. And going on to what someone else said in the chat about the R2D2 and the C-3PO. Yes, there's a cameo in the movie. They are on one of they're part of the markings on the walls. Like the hieroglyphs.
They're on the hieroglyphics.
I couldn't tell you which scene.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Though. Yeah, there's like hieroglyphics.
I would assume it's probably in the map room.
No, it's in the when they find the Ark.
Oh, so it's
when they're carrying the Ark towards the it's when they're carrying the Ark.
Okay.
Also,
they are in there.
What's going on? Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. And Optic Racer, I seen you popped in as well.
Optic,
what's going on? Thank you for coming, guys. Make sure destroy that like button for me, and if you haven't, please share the stream out. We'd like to get this out to as many people because we'd like to get everybody in here to have these feel-good moments, like remembering these old movies, remembering old toys and everything else. I think is really important with the climate that we were in today. It's good to be able to sit here and talk about things that we love. But go ahead, JJ. Go ahead and continue.
No. That was about it. That they were in that one scene. And as far as disliking anything in the movie, I'd be nitpicking. Really, I would, because even the couple of things that I can actually say, if you're not paying attention to it and just watching the movie, enjoying the movie, you'll never notice it. So it's just I can't say nothing about it. It's a great movie.
I'd say
Curtis YZ. I totally agree. I still think the first was probably was the best. I don't think it probably was the best. I believe it was the best.
It is.
I agree with that.
I'd say the first one is the best movie, but I still think the third one had the best written story.
I think the third one. I would say the third one probably had the best cast.
Oh yeah.
Well, only because of Sean Connery.
No, that chick that they had too. Like she was really good. I can't remember her name, but she was a really good actress as well.
She's a Bond girl.
Oh, there it is.
She was in A View to a Kill.
Oh yeah, there's the picture of the hieroglyphs. Yeah, the throwback.
Yep. Yep.
Thank you, Jens.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, Jens is on it, man. He does this shit all the time. He was on it.
Yeah, good.
If
They
Bruce
wanna then
told
know
me I
where-
had a clip of Selleck and Sean Young, I can share it to our audition. The James Bond suit he wears, yeah. Yep. Well, he wore a suit in the second one too, when they went to that dinner.
Yeah, because he does sort of like play like a casino, in it, like it sort of thing.
Now, see, yeah, Robert April. I mean, this like what the third time I've seen that. You know, people actually take Temple of Doom under the Last Crusade, and that's the way I always felt. Like I said, it's not that I hated Temple of Doom, but it was not my favorite. My father, on the other hand, he loved Temple of Doom. He actually went out and picked up a rock that had the similar markings like the stones that they had in the movie, with the lines going around them. I don't know where the hell I found it at.
Sankara stone.
A lot of my happy times.
You know what though? Here's a plot hole in the whole series.
Okay.
In the first movie and the third one, right? We are shown that the Ark of the Covenant and the Holy Grail are real and they work, right? So the Bible is true in the Indiana Jones universe.
Yeah.
Which means there's only one God, which means Indiana Jones 2 is a plot hole. Because in Indiana Jones 2, the Hindu gods have powers, which shouldn't be a thing.
No. They are gods, but there's only one, the God.
Yeah, there's only one God, which means the Hindu stuff in Indiana Jones 2 shouldn't have worked.
No, there's loads of gods, but there's only one of the God, who is the master God who controls the other gods.
Basically, every country has their own religion, so to speak. They have their own beliefs.
Yes.
And in this particular story, the Hindu gods take precedent.
Yes, but they shouldn't have had any powers because the Bible is confirmed as true in that universe, which means the Hindu gods, the Norse gods, all the other gods don't exist because it says so in the Bible.
Actually,
Shellback, what's going on?
The Bible actually, hey, what's going on, Shellback? I just want to hit this real quick. Actually, the Bible doesn't actually say no other gods exist. It actually says in the Bible, and I only know this because I read it because I like to, talk from a place of actual knowledge. So it actually does say that thou shalt not take any other gods before me. Doesn't necessarily say there are no other gods, but they're basically saying in the Bible that he is that God is the one true God. So
okay, fair enough.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of people that actually talk about it, and they perpetuate that there is no other gods. And unfortunately, unless you actually go back and you read some of the old stuff in the Bible, you're probably not going to find out about it. Because let's be honest, trying to read through that stuff is like trying to read through the old want ads that used to be in the papers when you wanted to get a job. So
that was a pain in the ass.
Doesn't it also say, though, there's only one God and he's me or something?
Well, it says that there is only one God that created everything.
But to forgive though, Steve, it could have been that them stones, they weren't even using any God's magic. It was just some freaky experiment that when you mumbled some words, they became real hot. It could have been like a heating system that was designed, but they just think it's a God that's doing it.
Yeah, but you also have the guy praying to Kali and then he rips people's heart out.
Yeah, but I could do that. It don't mean that the God exists.
That's true. Yeah, I had a lady do it to me once, figuratively.
Captain Robert April adds, Temple of Doom was made while George, Stephen, and Frank Marshall were all going through ugly divorces, and poor Kate Capshaw paid the price. Her taking it all like a trooper is why Stephen married her.
You know, which is ironic. All the others lost their wives. He got one.
Kate Capshaw, that was the blonde in the movie, wasn't it?
Yeah. Good actress, annoying character.
Exactly, Captain Robert. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Aliens, possibly. Shellback, what's going on, Shellback, man? Oh, Miss Martin, Muses, hello there, Miss Martin. Shellback, 2 questions for you since you're jumping on the panel. I know you know Indiana Jones. What is your favorite scene in the movie, and is there anything you didn't like about the movie?
Okay, because I actually just watched The Last Crusade on DVD that I checked out from my local library, which is actually where I'm taking a stroll to right now.
I would hope so. You spend enough time there.
Yeah, here lately. But anyway, refresh my memory, because I mean I've seen it plenty of times in my life, but it's been a while.
Well, you know what, Shellback, do you want a refresher? Should I give him the refresher, JJ?
Go ahead. Play it all. Let him have it.
Play it all again? All right, here we go.
Okay. Oh, shit.
Make sure you unmute so you can talk, Shellback, all right?
Yeah, I'm...
Just unmute your mic. You can talk over it.
Run!
Wait. I'll tell you everything.
Yes, I know you will.
Let her go.
You know what I did? I muted
I ain't got time for you. Get out my damn way. Whatever.
Hey!
In 1,000 years, even you may be worth something.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
Come on, get
Oh, just a little off the top. That's a hood ornament. Oh, yeah. See, that's what happens when you don't like who you carpool.
What'd you say?
Marion, don't look at it. Shut your eyes, Marion. Don't look at it no matter what happens.
Shut your damn mouth! The goulash is done.
I ain't ready to go. Where's Ray? Where's he going? Oh, Peter!
Melt away. When you get down, blow up.
The arc Art is a source of unspeakable power.
Somebody
and
in
it has
Beverly
to
Hills
be
can set that up for you.
And it will be, I assure you, Dr. Brody, Dr. Jones. We have top men working on it right now.
Yeah, that guy gets paid minimum wage. Okay.
Well, I'm going to hit this real quick, and then you can give me your thoughts, Shellback. So, Soul Assassin was asking, y'all had any of the Kenner figures and Optic Racers? Said, yeah, I saw them on a retro blasting video. I actually did find a few of those old figures because I used to have a bunch of them when I was a kid, and I also had the big 12-inch Indiana Jones figure that came with like the cloth clothing and the pleather jacket and the felt hat and all that stuff. I actually still have that, and I have a few of the smaller figures. I don't know what happened to the rest of them. They got lost somewhere. Some point in the future, when I dig those things out, I'm going to do a video showing all those off because, man, showing off those old toys, I don't know about you, but it brings back a lot of memories for me. And, it was such a great time to be a kid in the 80s and the 90s with all the amazing toys and all the movies and everything that was coming. Holy shit.
Yep.
Wow. I mean...
You jinxed me when you mentioned the mute button, because I'm like sitting.
He was sitting there, and then the librarian came and took him out.
It's like, get the hell out there!
Now he looks like a nipple.
The cyber nipple. What's up?
Yeah, don't say anything, Shellback. Don't say anything. Yeah. Everything's been good. Can hear you.
Yeah, Curtis, I definitely like Indiana Jones more than Back to the Future if I were to choose.
Yeah.
Really? Because I like Back to the Future.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love Back to the Future too, but I mean, if I'm picking a movie that's a little bit more, something that's means a little bit more, something that had a better story, I would definitely say Indiana Jones hit a lot more high notes than Back to the Future did.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, yeah, but I agree, but I'd have to pick Back to the Future just because it plays cool music in it.
Or you doing it just to be different than everybody else?
Yeah, I got to be different. You know that, man. Come on.
I don't know that I could compare Indiana Jones with Back to the Future, just because the time periods.
All right, hold on. I'm so sorry, Shellback. I mean, you're just getting ready to get going, but unfortunately, Stieg has got to take off. Steve, did you want to talk about anything else Indiana Jones related? I know we didn't get into the other movies yet. The Temple of Doom in 1984 and The Last Crusade in 1989. And, of course, the 2008 Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. But was there any last thoughts that you wanted to talk about Indiana Jones before you had to pop off?
Well, the Indiana Jones has an expanded universe, same as Star Wars, which is being referenced in the movies. You have 14 novels, I think, a few video games, story-based, and comics. So there's extra stuff extra and optional stuff if you want to get into more Indiana Jones. I'm currently reading Indiana Jones and Indiana Jones and the White Witch, which has to do with Arthurian legends, and it's great. Probably one of the best books I've read all year.
I thought it'd be Kathleen Kennedy.
No, she's not a white witch. She's let's just say she weighs as much as a duck.
Yeah,
quack, motherfucker.
Yeah, she ain't nice enough to be a white witch.
No, she's a white bitch. There's a difference.
Yeah. She definitely got a clamp on the beak.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it. But like I said, I've been awake since 6 a.m. and it's now 1 a.m. So I'm falling asleep.
No.
Oh wow.
Well, it's time. It's time to put the little soldier to bed and crawl in yourself.
Yeah, quite so.
Good to see you as always, Steve.
Good to see you, Steve.
Oh, likewise.
Yeah, absolutely a pleasure to always have you on, Stieg. I love when you come on. You're always so much fun, and when you get a chance to drop the puns too. I mean, it's a shame we didn't get a few more of them, but we had a load of paddle and a load of discussion tonight. So to start off the show.
Well, I can't always be a pundit.
But and you're always welcome anytime. It's always a pleasure to have you on, and I hope you have a good evening, sir.
Oh, thank you, and thank you
get some
to
rest, man.
thank you
Rest
to
well, Steve.
everyone on the panel for being good company and the chat as well.
All right.
Anyway, good night. Take care and be well. Goodbye,
Be well,
there.
Steve.
Goodbye there. I like that. Goodbye there.
So so Shifty gives him Indiana Jones, the most lovable pedophile to the fellow Family Guy Raiders one. Marion is 12 years younger than Indy, and they had a relationship when she was 15. Yikes! Yeah, there was a few things in there that were actually just kind of sketched over.
Yeah. Did he give her any penetration, which they don't go into? So.
All right.
Okay.
Shellback, back to you. I'm so sorry. You're just having no luck. First, you got interrupted because of the internet, and then unfortunately, Stieg had to take off. So go ahead, Shellback. You were back in talking about what was your favorite part in the movie, and if there was something you didn't like about it.
Well, I'd have to say.
Oh no!
He roboted.
Oh
The
no!
internet is not his friend.
Oh no!
He's fighting with Max Headroom right now.
Yeah, try and move around a bit, baby. The signal. Yeah, we can hear you.
It just started.
There you go.
What? Yeah, I don't know. I can't. It just started being a little funky. I don't know. I'm actually standing in an intersection waiting for the little I can walk sign. But anyway, yeah, the boulder scene probably, it's probably the most iconic one too, But
Oh Jesus! Is that gas, Shellback?
That's Harley. That's a Harley or a Honda.
Don't lie for him, JJ.
Nothing. I can't. I can't find anything that's bad to say about it.
And well, that's fair enough. I mean, JJ was actually, he was pretty much in the same boat with that. I don't think you really had any complaints either, Ray Han. So
No, I didn't either.
So I mean, now we get into 1984 and we actually get into Temple of Doom. I've already said my piece on it. I think it was a good film. I just don't think it was as strong as the first one, not even close. And I don't think it was as strong as the third one in 1989, which was The Last Crusade. Now, that being said, I think like everybody here would probably say that they think Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was actually the weakest out of all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
Jens?
Yeah, it's like Crystal it had the Buffin, didn't it, as his son? Wasn't it? Is that the one we're talking about? Or is it? Yeah. And so
Crystal Skull was Indy 4, and the one with his son was 5. No, they were doing 5 now.
No, they're working on 5 now, which actually slated to be released in 2022. But I kind of doubt that. I think you're going to see that thing's going to get pushed back and pushed back and pushed back.
Yeah. 4 is definitely the weakest.
Yeah, because I remember watching number 4, and it was a bit more like a buddy movie where Indiana Jones was like maybe like what the new one's gonna do, but apparently, hopefully, it's gonna be with like face alternation technology on some dude to play in younger Indy. But it was sort of like Indiana Jones was like too old, sort of like in the Crystal Skull sort of thing. But it still did all right. But yeah, yeah, that is the weakest one.
Well, I think it was one of those things. If you paid attention to the franchise as a whole, because they had the Adventures of Young Indiana Jones, they had a comic book series out well before the show. So I mean, I think it was kind of hinted at that there was going to be somebody younger, kind of like stepping into the role. So while I didn't think Crystal Skull was as good as the other ones, I really didn't have as big of a problem with it as a lot of other people did. I think that the concept of how they put the aliens into the movie was piss poor. It was piss poor writing. They could have done it in a way that actually made it a little bit more enjoyable. There was a lot of the same tropes that they had in the other movies with the action and the fight scenes and the car chases and everything like that. I mean, it was the same basic formula, but with shittier writing. I think if they could have tied everything together a little bit more soundly, that movie could have been a lot better. I mean, I even like the beginning where they're starting off in the warehouse again.
Yeah,
there was a lot of nostalgic hits with that one, but they just failed to deliver with the story arc.
Well, to me, talking about the Crystal Skull, I don't know if we have any fans of the IP here, but in one of the later seasons of SG-1 in Stargate, they do a Crystal Skull scene or story arc, and to me, that was done better than the actual movie. But then again, I love SG-1, I love Stargate, but to me, that particular episode was better by far compared to the Crystal Skull. But that's just my opinion. Take it or leave it.
I think with the Crystal Skull, it was one of them films that was written for the actor. Like Harrison Ford probably didn't want to star in it. The writers probably didn't want to write, and so I think it did sort of show that.
We lost Han.
Yeah.
He may be back.
Yeah, but it's still a good film and that, like, good action adventure. But compared to the other three, it is the weakest one. But probably we haven't seen what's coming up yet.
Captain Robert April said the favorite episode of Young Indy, The Birth of the Blues. And what's going on? Happy Dinosaur 8000. What's up, buddy? Chomp chomp.
Yeah. What's up, man? Long time no see. Happy day to you.
But I mean, when you're looking back at this franchise as a whole, and like all the other things, like we were briefly mentioning some of the toys. There was a lot. There was a lot with this franchise that reached out to a pretty wide audience too. So,
I never had none of the toys, and to be completely honest, I didn't know there were toys for this.
Oh yeah. They had little mini play sets. They had vehicles. They had the little 3 3/4 inch figures.
I never did.
Like I said, the 12-inch Indiana Jones. I know I sent you a picture of that early on when I was cleaning the house.
You'd have your Indiana Jones.
Somebody else mentioned. Yeah, somebody else had mentioned in the chat that they think that it was probably just a reused Han Solo figure, because during the Star Wars run, they did have those big 12-inch Star Wars figures. And I think they probably did reuse the body and head of the Han Solo figure for Indiana Jones, because his hair, like he said, it was extremely too long for that actual figure. So,
okay.
But Shifty Gizmo, what's going on? Many issues with Crystal Skull, psychic monkeys who knew who to attack. They shipped Mud Spike over, but didn't use it in the chase. The CG animal and bugs were too distracting, as was the ant sequence. I think there was a lot of things that were distracting. Once again, they were just putting filler in there because they didn't have a really good storyline written for that movie. And I think that's where they failed. They just kind of threw everything together. They didn't have a real plan. They just know that they wanted to capitalize on Indiana Jones and try to make something again of it because it was sitting on the back burner for so long. I mean, that was a very long stretch in between movies. You're talking 1989 to 2008. I mean, you're talking almost 20-year stretch before they made another movie or even thought about making another movie. So they were just looking for anything to throw together to try to breathe life back into the franchise again before Harrison Ford got too old to try to be able to. And I think that was the thing, is they wanted to pass the torch to somebody else to carry on the franchise. Unfortunately, they did it so poorly, it was ill received. And now there's a possibility that they're going to have a female Indiana Jones in it because, that's just.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something about all that. I know that's what we're doing right now with all these movies. And real quick on the comment you just had, happy dinosaur. I'm humbled and honored that you remembered my old name. I'm just JJ now, but dude, yeah, man, it's been a while. It's great to see you. But the world we living in, I don't mind. I really don't mind a female indie if this is the way they want to go. All that matters to me is just get the damn story right. Get the pacing right. Just do something good for a change. I don't care who they put in the role. Just make it good. Make it.
Well, I think that would be the thing. And normally most people probably wouldn't even bitch about that, JJ. But unfortunately, we've gotten to this point where they make it a point to take these older movies that are beloved and just insert things into them. And that's the biggest problem. Like if they would have did Crystal Skull back then and they would have put a female in it as a daughter for him, I don't think nobody would have whined about it or even had a problem with it quite as much as you would now when everything is just, it's insertion. We've got to put this in. We've got to make it this way. And I mean, we've seen the same thing just recently with the Masters of the Universe. It's the same type of shit that they feel that they got to insert that stuff, and they just don't understand the fans of the franchise at all. They just don't care. They're like, we're going to do what we want to do, and we don't care if we destroy this franchise and bury it. But, when that does happen, we're going to blame all of you because you're toxic. No, if you've been paying attention to what we like, what most of these people buy when they're going out to these stores to buy these retro toys, they want to see that stuff that reminded them of their childhood. They want to see the stuff that was good. They don't want to see your new diversity agenda garbage. I mean,
I understand that, Tommy, and you're absolutely 100% correct. I'm just saying, we've had this discussion before. All of this diversity, all this change has been happening for so long. Why the hell now is everybody starting to pay attention? There's no point.
No, the film's getting crap though, because the thing is,
yes,
Indiana Jones, the action would be crap like the Tomb Raiders, because female Indiana Jones is Tomb Raider Lara Croft, but they don't sell as much because the action ain't going to be as good because females aren't physically able to do stuff that males can do, and so the action.
There's women out there that can pull this shit off. Trust me, there are women out there
not as good as
pull
men.
This stuff off.
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
Anyway.
Damn it, Jens. Damn it.
All I'm saying, if women could do a job good as men, you won't have female leagues.
Real quick, let me get to Happy. So speaking of Indiana Jones, I'm curious, am I the only one who's got the Temple of Doom as his favorite film in the series?
Yes.
I can't speak for everybody else, but I think pretty much here everybody on the panel is going to say that Happy. That's all good though. I mean, if that's your favorite, but hey, buddy, more power to you. I just personally, one of the other things about a lot of these movies, and the thing that I like the most is I like introduction. So like, I have the first Star Wars movie as my favorite because I love introduction stories. That was always my favorite.
Okay.
Phantom Menace, even though it's technically an introduction story as well, I don't think it was done as well as the first Star Wars movie.
No, I have to agree with you on that one, but you make a good point, really. The only reason why it's not my number one favorite, but the reason why now episode 4 is on the top of that list, I saw that movie when I was 4 years old, man. Come on, you cannot forget shit like that. That movie blew a 4-year-old's mind, for real.
I don't know where you got that idea, Darius. There's nothing family friendly about me. You've been on streams with me. You should know that by now.
Fucking family friendly. You got to be kidding me.
Yes. Stop molesting our franchises, Disney. Have a seat. They can have a seat on one of them big pyramid torture devices.
No. They need to bring people in that knows how to make this shit, and just sit back and find out what the fuck's about to happen. Because trust me, if they kept their nose out of it, it'd be a hell of a lot better. Just sit back and watch what you're paying people to do. Watch them make great movies again. But no, you got to throw your nonsense in the middle of it. But about the woman part, the only thing I'm saying is, as long as it fits, I don't mind it. Don't shove it down my throat. That's all I'm getting at. That's with anything. Same-sex couples, gay guys, it don't matter. Transgender, who the hell ever. I don't give a fuck. Make it fit.
As long as they, they don't like insert a bunch of garbage in it, and as long as they change their tranny fluid, I mean, we're not going to have that big.
Oh shit. Okay, you got me. I got to go look for that fucking tweet I made. Thank you, Tommy. I appreciate it.
Hey, always.
Yeah, I know, but damn.
You just got to make sure and do that, that Crocodile Dundee, package check,
Oh, okay.
Temple.
By the way, Showback, how the hell are you? I hope you're doing good or doing decent.
Yeah, well, Gina Carano's more male than she's female, so that's just.
Yo, if Gina was the new Indy, I'd watch the fuck out of that.
Yeah, but Gina's probably got more testosterone running in her body than most male.
High? I know I am a little. I know I am a little bit. I know I am a little bit, but you know what? If I had the chance, I'd do her.
Yeah, well, I'd do it, but it'd have to be in the back doors because I think she's grown a penis by now. All them.
Move out of that seat and I'll split your lip.
Figuratively.
Damn.
Damn it, Jens. Damn it.
I'm just saying, like, I'd like to see what her testosterone levels are like.
You cannot get off the soy for 1 minute, can you? Look,
well,
I mean, I realized growing up, over there, I mean, soy was a big part of your childhood, but that's really not part of the retro discussions thing. So can we keep your old school soy talks?
We are going soy free tonight. No soy allowed. Besides, I know we're talking about soy, but one thing I gotta ask, and I think I've asked this before, fucking almond milk, guys. Almonds ain't got titties.
What's going on, Captain Robert April?
No.
Damn.
You see, and this is beautiful. This is what you get to come into,
Sorry, I just had to make a mention of that because that still fucks my brain up.
Kathy was one of the dancers in Temple of Doom.
Oh yeah.
Chorus line the beginning.
I wish she ordered cigarette ghettos, but fucking hell. Thanks.
What's going on? What's going on, Captain?
But I think the best thing.
Well, on a slightly depressing personal matter, I'm still needing a little more money so we can pay for tomorrow night, and also I need to run across town to drop off my timesheets. But
yeah, but that's understandable. We could all use a little bit more money.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've ever spoke before. We've always been side by side in a chat somewhere.
Yeah, I think kind of cross.
It's a pleasure, man. Good to finally talk to you.
Not a problem. No, it's kind of like whoa! Somebody just sent some money. Okay, I think we're fine now.
Everything's fine here. How are you?
Yeah.
I'm not going to disclose this because, frankly, it needs to be done with the wife. But I think actually we're fine for the night and tomorrow, or actually tonight or tomorrow, and also getting across town. So now we're just waiting for the Uber right to drop down. But
yes, we can still use help.
Oh, we can always use help because we still got to get to the rest of the week. But short term, actually they worked okay, so I can actually relax and stop bugging everybody for everything.
Hello, Miss Steph. How you doing?
Like Temple of Doom being a piece of crap.
Yeah, there you go.
But tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, don't hold back.
I saw.
Don't hold back.
Let's see, it was 84.
Temple of Doom was a piece of crap.
But no, it
Kalima.
It's certainly one of the lesser.
Kalima.
Not as bad as Crystal Skull, for God's sake.
I just like the fact that a lot of the characters in the first three movies were named after people's dogs.
Well, yeah, Indiana. Indy was named after George's Malamute, Indy, Indiana. It was also the inspiration for Chewbacca, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he saw Marcia and Indiana in the and Indy was just sitting up in the passenger seat, like, okay, that's an image I want to put on the Han and Chewie. And let's see, Willie was named after Spielberg's dog. And then Short Round was named after Frank Marshall's dog.
Wow.
Oh, and another little bit of nerd trivia here. The King of Jordan was one who gave permission to film Last Crusade.
Yeah, when they did the scene in Petra. Because King Hussein was also a major nerd. Big Star Trek fan, but also a big fan of George and Steven. So,
and he's passed it on to
he's passed it on to his son, too, because they used to, when his son was in the Air Force, he'd send them videotapes of Star Trek episodes.
So I got to ask you, Robert. I mean, everybody here, we've had a couple of people chime in as far as like what their favorite scenes were. There's been a couple that said the boulders. Some people said like the scene, like the Wall of Souls, and I personally I like the ending of the movie. I think that was the most standout because I said it was just unique that it wasn't exactly like the fairy tale ending to the movie. Instead of like the Ark being put in a museum like he wanted to do throughout the whole film, it's stuck in a warehouse. Was there a particular scene in the movie that you thought was the standout for it?
I don't know at the time, because that was one of my first dates. I meant to see it on a sneak preview, like the day before. So I got advance passes from local radio station. So I got down there, and I could have on the way out the door, I could have grabbed a whole stack of those initial posters. They were just sitting there on the counter. I could have grabbed the whole damn stack. They wouldn't have cared. But I don't know at the time, but lately, the scene where they're on the boat and Marion's trying to tend to Wendy's just painfully trying to get his shirt off. And it's like, all the years, it ain't the years, darling, it's the mileage.
Well, that was part of the reason when I did my clips, I had to include the mirror scene where she's like totally oblivious and smacks him with the mirror. Did you say something? What's going on, Chaos? Hoy, what up?
Well, it's also don't forget the scene on deck when the wind is blowing and Marion's dress is pressure right up there. That satin is showing. I don't think Karen Allen shaved.
Shifty Gizm says Temple of Doom is my favorite as that's the one I watched the most as a kid. The only thing that bugs me about it is the annoying arrangement of the pit fight score with the two themes interchanging. I know a few people that say they love Temple of Doom the best. It did not capture my attention the same way the first one and the third one did.
Well, the thing it's got the most action, set pieces, but it's like that really lost me in the roller coaster ride through the mines. It's like no, this is dumb.
It felt like more of like an action park type of.
Yeah,
scene,
it's
really.
Like, they're setting up the theme ride at Disneyland.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
Donkey Kong Country used that for their game.
I love the mine cart scene.
Yeah. But it was far-fetched, but it was
Dr.
like,
Jones!
Yeah. Well, Short Round was put in there for comical actor because I think number 2 did try to do a bit more comedy with it, and Short Round was like comedy relief, and it was like bit too comedy and crazy because I think apparently they wanted to do that man shaft scene in number 1 in Temple of Doom in that, but or Lost Ark, should I say? But they ended up doing it in Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
Well, I seen a couple comments that actually referring back to part 3 that was filmed in '89. So Curtis says the Zeppelin scene. I like that. I thought that was pretty good. There wasn't a whole lot about part 3 that I didn't like. I mean, there was a few things in that kind of drug on.
No
Luffy,
ticket.
I pick any scene from 3 when Indy thinks he has impressed his dad. Good chemistry between him and Sean Connery. Absolutely.
He just deflates him. Junior.
I went to pictures to see number 3 because I was like, right, yeah, number 1 and 2 was good. So I went to, and yeah, but the bit I liked was when Sean Connery, as Indy's dad, and Harrison Ford are tied up, and I forget what Sean Connery says, but this dude punches Sean Connery in the face, which makes him headbutt Harrison Ford. He's like, shut up, man.
All right, Tommy, I got something for you.
All right. Situation is not improved.
That is a good question. Yeah, you know what? Once again, that is kind of retro because you're talking about training fluid. So
yeah.
In no way, shape, or form are we actually talking about personal body fluids. You keep that to yourself.
No.
Very far away in another state, preferably in another country, like maybe even on an island somewhere out in the Pacific.
Yeah.
You know, where typhoons cross a lot. Thank you. Stay away.
Us British get ragged about being on the homosexual side, but we don't have any tranny oil.
Fluid. It's fluid, Jens. Fluid.
Fluid. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to get a little bit more fluid.
No,
go ahead, Shellback. Go ahead, Shellback.
Oh, I was just saying, I got to remember that one. Gender neutral shift juice. Yeah.
Wookie actually says something nice about Kathleen Kennedy. I mean, I know Chaos was talking about Kathleen Kennedy, but Wookie says Kathleen Kennedy was amazing in the Temple of Doom, and you know what?
It's part of the chorus.
No, I can agree because she didn't really say nothing. Not really.
I can disagree.
No, Kathleen Kennedy is much better when she keeps her mouth shut. Then again, I don't know. Maybe some of the producers would say otherwise. But you know what I'm saying? I think she's better off with her mouth shut.
Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy's best thing for her career.
She gets great coffee.
Great coffee.
Yeah, she made some coffee. She did a little dancing. You know.
Yeah,
the rest didn't take notes at all, but she would interrupt all the time. How about if the dog one that what the hell? Kathy, stick to coffee, please.
Oh God, man! You know, it's hard to even say anything nice about that. I can't even call her a woman. That horse-faced thing. I can't tolerate her. I just can't.
If I didn't have a good imagination, so I can imagine that is not Kathleen Kennedy. That's just an actress. I can watch the film because if I couldn't get that, if I couldn't imagine her being nothing else but a like extra in that film, I'd be like, no, it'd ruin it.
She's just in the background. She's in a headdress and stuff, and stuff. So unless you really know what she looked like back then, it's on point.
True. If she had some like speaking lines, like "I'm gonna fuck Luke's life, Jedi life for him," I'd be like, yeah, no.
Yeah. Curtis, damn, shots fired. Kathleen Kennedy's jaw just dropped. That's probably because it was full. So she had to open up the letter. I don't think she swallows.
You know, actually, we may be paying the price for putting her in that scene in that skimpy little outfit for that scene. It's like, that's it. They're going to pay for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's 2 franchises being destroyed, all because they needed a warm body to fill a costume in the back in the chorus line in one little scene.
I'm not so sure about that because I wouldn't consider her a warm body.
I know.
At the time, though, yeah. I'm saying.
Let's put it this way: I wouldn't. If it was up to me, I wouldn't let her go into Yen's bed.
Ooh.
Well, I'll tell you something. I'd bang her so hard that she'd fucking make Luke a fucking decent Jedi again. If I had me chance.
It wasn't KK in Star Wars as a Sarlacc bit. I don't know, possibly, because she does suck souls and careers down the toilet.
Have we covered Marshall Lucas's comments?
Nah, I usually don't get into a lot of the newer stuff. I try to just keep the older stuff as much as possible. I mean, we hit on it here and there, but
they were made a while ago. They just recently surfaced, but
well, it's like a lot of the other things, Captain. I mean, people glossed over it back then because we weren't really in the middle of this ridiculous freaking culture war that we're in right now. So now people are going back and they're noticing the things that were said a while ago, and they're like, "Oh shit, they said this back then." I mean, it was kind of like the whole nonsense. I remember when I was, and this is kind of retro because this was a few years ago. So I was still basically doing mostly modding duties, and I was modding for John Talks, and there was the thing that came up with the SCE, about cooking the books and what Disney was doing at the time. And I was telling John, I said, John, this isn't the first time it happened, and that's actually when he made me a mod so I could drop the link to something that Disney did in the past with the same thing where they were cooking the books, and that had to do with the family of the writer of Winnie the Pooh. They were doing the same thing. They weren't giving them their fair share because they were cooking the books and saying they weren't making money. Yeah. It's not the first time Disney has done it, and it won't be the last.
Disney. Paramount had that to an art form. That for years they claimed the original Star Trek was still owed money, even up through the 80s.
A lot of those companies.
Hey, come on, guys! Enough is enough. Until Shatner joined in with Roddenberry, and they finally forced Paramount to open the books. And, what do you know? And they suddenly Roddenberry's not scrounging for money anymore.
I'm kind of curious, Curtis. Have you heard something that we haven't? Is she a teeth person? Is she a scraper? That's terrible. With those big horse teeth? No, thank you. Everything Calamity Kennedy made doesn't exist to me. And that's a shame because she's got her name on almost all the damn Indiana Jones movies. My theory is that Frank Ghost directed some of Spielberg's films, and this is his thank you for it. Kathy got the Lucas gig and is working all the time, so Frank has the house all to himself.
Damn.
Oh, this is one time you could use Tom Connor showing up here, doing his Frank Marshall thing. Congo!
But now, as far as like Stieg had mentioned earlier about the EU, because we didn't really touch on that, I talked about the action figures. Like I said, my father had a huge collection of the comics. They were like the continuing adventures of Indiana Jones. Have any of you read any of those or seen any of them yourselves?
No. I didn't read them, but I remember seeing them on the stands.
Jens?
No.
No? JJ, you said no?
Nah. No.
How about you, Shellback? Do you remember seeing any of them at all?
He's muted. He might not be available.
He's probably waxing. Is it bad to want to see Brie Larson? Have you seen any of the extended universe for Indiana Jones, like the comics, the novels, anything like that?
Not really.
No. Wow. I feel old now because I'm the only one who's seen it, and I'm not much older than JJ, so this is not looking good for me.
Like I said, I remember seeing it. It was a marvel to put them out.
Yeah, I read a few of them. I had a few of the other books and everything too. I mean, I had some of the novels. I just don't remember what I did with them. Because I remember they also. You do remember at the time that they had those novels out? It was like a choose your own path type of novel.
Yeah, choose your own adventure.
Yeah, they had an Indiana Jones one like that too.
Ah, see, I didn't know that.
Okay, the wife wants to take over here for a bit. So
Here comes Miss Stephanie, y'all.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go throw some money at the hotel so we can actually sleep in tomorrow.
Yeah, I hear you, Wookie. What's going on?
How you doing, Miss Stephanie?
Hi. Oy. Well, right now I'm just, trying to get through the rest of the month, and hopefully.
Carrying over the theme of the thing, we're getting a little tired of the last minute rescues. Frankly, we need to get a little padding here.
Yeah.
Pay for more than one day at a time.
Yep, there you go. I have a whole bunch of those comics.
Never seen them.
Yeah, like that right there. Further Adventures, right there.
Oh wow.
Yeah. At some point, I'm going to show all them off. I thought they were interesting, and I thought they were a great find. And I would love to go back through and reread some of them because I haven't seen them since I was a kid. So. And Brie Larson is a meme. Oh God, we're really on the Brie Larson thing again.
Brie is not allowed here.
Look, I'm gonna just say this: like the whole Brie Larson, I don't want to be on her, and I have no plans on ever being on her. So
those are feet that they get that the pigs will definitely not go for.
No, the pigs are staying away from those big giant stompers. They get killed. That's like having a small house collapse on you.
I don't know. I honestly, I think Brie Larson's kind of like, riding a scooter. It's all cool until your friends catch you.
Yeah, you know what Brie Larson could probably do better than anybody else? If she ever got in one of those Flintstone cars, I'm pretty sure she could pull the Fred Flintstone and use her feet as brakes. I could see it.
Oh,
damn, Tommy.
Yeah.
Machini, what's going on, Machini? Hey.
Hey, Machini.
If you haven't had a chance, Machini, go ahead and drop your link in the chat. Machini does some wonderful drawing, and I got something special planned for Machini. I mean, unfortunately, with the trip back up north, going to Jersey and finalizing the sale of my dad's house and everything, I didn't have a chance to finish his very special music video that I'm going to do for him. I'm sure he's going to hate me like Walton does. He'll probably be calling me a dick just like Walton does. But you know, it's all good. It's all fun. Love you, buddy. Curtis is cracking up. Curtis, you should have been up here for this too. But anything further to add on to the Indiana Jones?
Me personally, and a lot of people probably gonna get mad at me for it, but that's okay. I'm used to it. As far as just the movies go, there's only Raiders of the Lost Ark, because the last three, to me, I didn't like them at all. Don't particularly wish to watch any of them again. Yeah, especially Temple of Doom. That was some dumb shit.
Oh man.
Crystal Skull, no. Last Crusade had a big maybe, but still for me, no. Yeah, it's just Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark. To me, is the best one, the only one, and I think they didn't epically fail, but they definitely could have been better. It's definitely not today's entertainment. They didn't epically fail. They just should have done it differently. That's all.
Oh no, we're gonna get outrage in the chat now.
I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry. My apologies, but yeah.
Jesus, it's only the biggest goddamn hole in the world.
Oh, we're talking about her again? Great.
Well, I see her name keeps popping back up.
Sorry.
What's going on, Curtis?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Curtis.
Look, Curtis, you want to weigh in on this? I mean, I know you said you weren't like huge into the Indiana Jones franchise, but
yeah, the first one I feel like was just grittier than the rest of them, less lightheartedness, you know. And but I do like that Holy Grail scene a lot, like I said before.
Well,
So
I think that was
the third one, right?
Yeah, that's the third one. I think that was the whole thing about the franchise that made it interesting is they actually took some stuff that was actually supposed to be, mythological to a degree, but something that was supposed to be part of history, something that things that people are still looking forward to this day, and they incorporated that into a movie with action and adventure and a little bit of comedy as well. And I think that's one of the things that actually made this franchise so special, at least for me. So.
I mean, I got into it because I told myself, it's technically like a World War II movie, so can't hurt to watch. I'll probably find some of it interesting.
So another monster. Yeah, well, I mean, I think there is still a lot there, and then, like I said, there's a lot of the stuff that was outside the movies too. Mm-hmm. That somebody might find those stories more interesting than maybe they found the movies. So.
Also, it was just one of those things like, this was a while ago I saw it, but I just knew like it's an iconic movie. I got to see it, so I just watched it.
Well, you know how that is though, Curtis. Sometimes, a movie that you haven't seen in a long time, if you're looking at it through the lens of when you were younger, when you first seen it, and you go back and see it again, you might have an actual different perspective on the movie. I mean, that was part of the reason why I wanted to show the movie clips for everybody that maybe they haven't seen it in a while and they don't remember some of those scenes. And how much fun they were to watch.
It kind of is a kid's movie in a way, huh? Like,
Well,
you gotta be... I mean, you can enjoy it as an adult, but, like, if you see it as a kid, it's gonna be so much more...
Well, I mean, that was the thing. I think a lot of those movies were kind of geared for the action adventure, and that was the thing. At the time, it was bringing in the whole family.
Yeah.
I mean, and that started with Lucas and Star Wars, really, because... Before then, action adventure type movies, they didn't really draw in the whole family. I mean, you go back to stuff like the Ten Commandments was
adults, really.
Yeah, like the Ten Commandments was kind of considered almost like an action type of movie, and you didn't see kids flocking to go see that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Biblical drama in that case, though.
Also, we also got Miss Stephanie Littlepage with us. Same questions. Same questions. Was there anything about the movie that you liked, and anything about the movie that you hated, or didn't like? Excuse me.
Okay. Well, Bob just got back. Which movie are we talking about again?
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders. Actually, I liked it all through. I didn't really have any problems with anything in it. I mean, it was. Okay. It was great, it was, let's just put it this way. If I had a copy of it right now, I'd be watching it.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah,
it brought back some good memories.
Oh, yeah. That's the one with, what's his face? Doc Ock from the Marvel movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Alpha Molina.
Yeah. In the beginning of the movie, the guy that's with Indy, he's like, throw me the statue and I'll throw you the whip, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's Doc Ock.
Raiders is one of probably the only movies that there really aren't many plot holes of significance. As the closest thing really is the submarine thing, and yet those submarines of that era, they stayed on the surface as much as they could. They got much better, fuel efficiency on the surface. They only submerged if they had to, and they're cruising the Mediterranean. No one's going to bother them. So
that's the right one, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just standing up right now, fixing me some mac and cheese, and then he'll get back on.
But hey, Tommy, I got a dip, bro.
Oh, okay, all right.
We gotta get some food, and I got another stream I gotta go to.
Oh man, no.
Where do you think you're going? Nobody's leaving. Nobody's walking out on this fun old-fashioned family Christmas. No, we're all in this together.
Oh,
really?
Go ahead, JJ. Let them know where you're going to be next. And oh no, JJ, where'd you go? You can't disappear like that.
I didn't do that shit, man. You fucking with me. Stop.
Go ahead, let them know where you're going to be and what you got going on.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy JJ. You find me a little bit of everywhere and a whole lot of nowhere. I'm gonna go get me some food. Then you'll find me over on Darius Munchausen's channel. He's doing Hangout by Proxy, number 3, I think. This guy's killing it so far. He's done 3 live streams, and they've really hit. You know, people coming in, hanging out, panel and chat. Man, you guys are great. Let's see, what's today? Monday. Tomorrow I'll be over on Chaos Central's YouTube channel. That's Chaos with a K for the Chaos List. Monday night's my channel. I'm doing a random movie review. This week we're doing Band of the Hand. Haven't seen it, so you can either come by and watch, listen to me bitch about it, or praise it, one or the other, and have some fun along the way. Friday over on TWTG Content channel, we do Cards Against Humanity. Fun, great time we have over there. You know, we actually get to say shit and be able to get away with it. And Sundays over on Chris Knight's channel for the weekly wrap up. And September 26th, Randomness at its Finest will make a return. I'm doing a birthday stream then. I hope everybody comes by and checks it out and says hi. Whatever. My birthday's on a Tuesday, but I'm busy on Tuesday, so I'm doing it on a Sunday. Time, I don't know yet, but that'll be tweeted out when I figure all that mess out. Thanks for having me on, Tommy. Had a blast Saturday. Thank you.
All good. All good.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you for everything.
It's always a pleasure to have you on, JJ. You know what? You were actually one of the people that actually started on this panel with me when I first started this show over a year ago. Slasher being the other, unfortunately, situation with Slasher. He's not able to make it like he used to.
Right.
I'm hoping that's going to change at some point, and he's going to be able to start getting back up on here and chatting once again about some of this old stuff. So it is what it is. You know, you just got to take it one day at a time and just keep moving forward. But you know what? Thank you for coming on. Thank you for being here again. Thank you for being here almost every single week. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you next time.
Yeah, bro. And it's a pleasure, everyone. Captain Robert April, Stephanie Little Page, it was a pleasure. First time I've ever spoke to you. Curtis, everybody, Jens, even Shellback. Have a good night, everyone. I appreciate it.
Right. Later, JJ.
Later, guys.
All right, take care, JJ. All right. So anybody else with last thoughts on Indiana Jones? Because I got actually one more topic I want to hit. And I would like to, when we end this, I would like to send everybody over to Darius, see what he's got going on. I really like that guy. He's another one. He always stops by in the chats. He always hangs out for a while. One of these times I'm going to try to get him to come up here and talk about something old school. Whether or not he can actually talk about something from the 80s or 90s, I don't know yet. We're going to have a discussion about that. But there's so many more people. There's so many more people I want to get up here and be able to talk about those things from the past, because I know there's a lot of other perspectives about those things. So any last thoughts on Indiana Jones? Anybody? Go ahead, chime in.
Yeah. It belongs in a museum.
Hopefully not in a crate.
What about the ride?
First one, near flawless movie. Second one, yeah, there were behind the scenes stuff going on. Why they did the way they did, whatever. And third one, pretty damn good. Fourth one, you don't speak of.
No, not yet, Wookie. Not yet.
They get it done.
Yeah.
Actually, here's another thought.
Somebody said that Kate Blanchett looked like dominatrix in uniform.
Oh, they were going for that fun, yeah. I'd one review that, it turns out, who doesn't go into a Indiana Jones movie get a prequel, Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
All right, anybody else? Closing thoughts? Oh, Shellback, you got more?
Actually, I got a question that I think I'm pretty sure is accurate. Isn't Temple of Doom basically supposed to be a prequel? Wasn't it supposed to actually be chronologically before Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Yeah.
Was it? I don't recall if it was or not. Tell you the truth.
It seems like I heard something about that.
You know the Crystal Skull?
That's cool.
No,
Temple
of Doom was like
Temple of Doom.
5, I think. Whereas
Yeah, no, that was definitely after. Huh?
Okay.
Yeah, because Raiders. I know Raiders was based in 1936. Nerd Cookies. What's going on, Nerd Cookies? And Scott Jennings. What up?
Has anybody been on the ride?
I seen you. I heard you talking about that. Rather, I don't even recall where was the ride at.
Disneyland, I think.
Oh no! See, no,
It was freaking wherever the hell it was. It was really good.
Okay. Before I get back up.
I was so small. I thought I went on the ride way before I saw the movie, so I know a lot of what to expect too. So it kind of spoiled it for me. But the ride was amazing.
Now, Shifty Gizm said, "Yeah, Temple of Doom is set before Raiders." See, I didn't remember that. I mean, I wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't my favorite either. So it kind of like, kind of one of those things. Yep, RR.
Kind of makes it more interesting, though.
Yeah, I guess to a degree. I mean, I think that there was things that they could have did with Temple of Doom to make it a little bit more interesting. Myself, but. I mean, I know there's people out there that like that one better, and if you do, awesome. I just don't see it as being better. That's just me.
Also, to go back real quick on what you were saying, there is something about, especially the Star Wars, like what you're saying. Like I always think about that. I think I just underappreciated the first Star Wars so much, and you saying that just made me really see what I was missing. You know.
Well, yeah, that was one of those things about those movies. Like most movies that I watch, unless the intro is really bad, but most of the intro movies is the thing that actually pulls you in. You get to know all the characters in that first movie.
Yeah, it's
by
hard
the second
to beat
movie,
that.
by the second movie, there's stakes and everything else, but you already know all the characters. There's something about that first introduction to those characters that to me is very compelling. Those are the reasons that you're going to be invested in that series because of that intro, usually.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's only one problem with the first Star Wars movie. Luke never made it to Tashi Station to pick up those power converters.
I know, right? Somebody, you know what? A small business lost money because he couldn't get there.
It's a shame.
There was a lot more going on in that movie than people realize.
You know, it's those little moments, though, that do make it feel more real to me, at least. I mean, some people say it's corny or whatever, but that's how it would be. You know, there'd be some weird shop, you know, in that world. Gives it character. It makes it feel more real and more alive. Now we all want to know what Tashi Station looks like.
You know, I'm not 100% sure, but for some reason I seem to recall something being touched in one of the comic books about it.
Well, there was that deleted scene where Luke is gonna defect.
I love those scenes. Kind of wish there was like a director's cut besides the special editions.
Well, it does kind of bring everything to a screeching halt for a while, so it probably is better that they are kind of off.
Well, some of the deleted scenes actually wound up being done in his special edition version, like the whole thing with Jabba.
Yeah,
that was all original. He had original scenes actually already filmed, but would stand in it like a stand-in actor because he didn't even know what Jabba the Hutt was going to look like. So he had this guy in this big furry coat. He looked like he could have been a barbarian, like a Mongol or a Hun or something like that. And
very Irish accent.
Yes.
Anyways, I didn't mean to derail it.
No, it's all good. I mean, we're still talking about stuff that actually pertains to the same subject, whether it's just the individual or somebody that was actually writing on the story. Because you got to remember, like I said in the beginning, Lucas had a hand in writing this movie. him and Philip Kaufman. So
also the
Like
ghost
Mark-
of Anakin, the original one. I don't like the fact that they changed that. You know.
Actually,
Yeah.
I think it does follow better because Anakin as a Jedi never looked like the guy in the end of Jedi.
I know, but it's just more
It
character.
follows better.
I
that
was
it looks like
thinking
Anakin.
about it
That's how he
today.
was as a Jedi. So.
I know.
Well-
I know it
well-
makes more sense, but I just there's something about it that makes me just not. You know, it isn't. I totally agree. It makes more sense, but there's something about that. It's like I just wish that they could have made that make sense instead. You know,
Well,
because
I
I
mean,
like the old guy.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about somebody who was a Jedi, became Sith, and then he became a Jedi again at the end.
Right.
So wouldn't it pick up from where he becomes a Jedi again, not so much who he was in the past? Because if that's the case, then why didn't we see a younger Obi-Wan?
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it's that as they were Jedi, as you know, at the time they stopped being a Jedi. Which, you know, in the case of Obi-Wan and Yoda's when they died.
This is why they need a theatrical cut and let the fans. You know what they really need? They need some sort of thing where it's like you buy this, it's online. You can cut up the story. Got all these alternate ways you can make Star Wars. You can make your own Star Wars the way you want, and you buy it. You know that would be so cool to me.
There's some footage I want to see because there's a documentary about Dave Prowse, and you know because he got unfairly tagged with spoiling like Empire Strikes Back, and it wasn't him; it was some other staffer. But Dave Prowse got nailed with it, and he was kind of looking forward to being on this film that last scene where Luke takes off the helmet and they won't let it go. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Well, these guys do this documentary. You know, got Dave Prowse, and they recreated that scene.
Yeah, I saw that documentary.
But they don't show the scene as they show.
They don't. No, I know. But you know what? I could hear when he was dubbing over though. You can hear it. He probably would have done pretty good. It was gonna be pretty cool. I think.
Well, in that scene, it would have been fine because it wouldn't be James Earl Jones obviously when they pull the mask on.
Yeah.
But in the mask, no, there's no way in hell to. Tell us you're a part of the Defender Mask, and I want to be okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That guy is a kind of a high-pitched voice from Yorkshire. No.
All right, Jens, you got to take off, buddy.
Yeah. Go ahead and that one, finish up on the Indiana Jones and Star Wars sort of like discussion and that. But Case Roberts on and that. So that one.
All right, Jens. What do you got coming up? Do you got any of your Soy Rage lives coming up?
Yeah, I probably will have to do one tomorrow, maybe. If not, I'll have to do one soon because I saw something interesting today on Steve Crowder. He was talking about Shang-Chi and that. Right, yeah. I'll have to do a stream about that one, or a video. But yeah, and I've got my Twitter at 27A Pedersen, which I sometimes put stuff on. But yeah.
All right, Jens. Thanks for being on again, buddy. You have a good one. If you guys haven't, make sure to stop by and see Jens. Curtis was kind enough to throw his link up in the chat. Thank you, Curtis, for throwing the links up tonight. I appreciate it, buddy.
No problem.
Cheers, Kate, as well. Yeah. Yes.
And Darius, I'll probably be seeing you soon too. So I'll probably swing by if he's got room for a pig. Everybody should have room for a pig.
Little guinea pig, you're so good at it.
Cheers.
All right, later, Jens. Be well.
Cheers, Tommy. Bye.
All right, so.
Whoops.
I was actually going to talk about one other topic tonight, so I want to catch into that one briefly right now. I want to send everybody over the minute we end over to Darius Munchausen. as we're ending, Curtis, I mean, if you could throw his link up again as we're ending, make sure when you wind up going over to see Darius that you put hashtag guinea pig raid so he knows that we've coming over to visit him from here. But the last thing I actually want to talk about is something that it follows on the heels of Matchbox, which was created in 1952, and Hot Wheels, which was created in 1968. And I'm talking about Micro Machines. This is one of those, it was one of those toy lines that came out because they were looking for something that was going to be a little bit cheaper to make than the Hot Wheels and the Matchbox, because we all know Hot Wheels and the Matchbox cars at the time, they were die cast, most of them. Yeah. So these were almost all 100% plastic. And
I got a lot of those, yeah.
So these are a few of the ones that I actually had still that were sitting over my father's house. These things are great. Some of them were amazingly detailed for such tiny little vehicles.
Mm-hmm. Wow,
and they came, like this one was actually a collector series, limited edition too. So
I love the small ones like that when they do have that detail and they're little teeny things.
Yeah, it's amazing how much detail they put in those tiny little things too. You really don't see it until you actually get them in your hand and you can actually take a look at them up close. But yeah, they are amazingly detailed. They did such an amazing job with the molds when they were making these plastic toys. And at the time, the die-cast ones, while they were great, most of the die-cast stuff didn't have the level of detail that these Micro Machine figures had. Like the Hot Wheels and the Matchbox, some of them were kind of detailed, but not that detailed. So I actually have a lot more than what I'm showing. Unfortunately, because I still have all those totes that I'm going through, I haven't found the rest of them because I had a bunch more Star Wars ones, and I think I had a few more Star Trek ones, and then I also had some other ones like this one. This one was actually something that came on the heels of the Micro Machines, and Ertl started doing something very similar to Micro Machines, making those tiny little vehicles. And I think I have a few more of the Batman ones too. They were some really nice sets. The only difference is they were die cast, and of course, following that up is when they started doing the play sets and the mini figures from Micro Machines.
Oh yeah.
So I have this one right here, which is it's supposed to be like Jabba's palace, like with the pit, the Rancor pit. Yeah. And I also have one that's a Millennium Falcon, which is actually pretty large. Cool. It's like over 1.5 feet long, the Millennium Falcon, and it opens up so you can see the entirety of the inside of the Falcon, including the hollow chest table that was in it. So,
yeah, that's really, I like that.
Yeah, Micro Machines.
Yeah, I know I got at least the lion's share of the Star Trek ones, and also the Babylon 5 ones came out with some.
I just have Batman.
What's up, Dre?
I don't know if I got any Star Wars ones.
Yeah, you know what? I seem to recall being, a lot more of them being at the house before I went up there to clean it all out. I don't know if something happened to them, like maybe if they got lost in the shuffle, or if my dad gave them out to somebody, or what happened. But I mean, I did find quite a few of them, and almost all of them were packaged. So it was kind of cool to be able to find those things. Now, as far as the company that put them out, it was originally Galoob from 1987 to 2016, and then Hasbro bought them out. And then Wicked Cool Toys and Jazzwares started doing them from 2020 to the present. So it was pretty interesting. I mean, at the time too, because Galoob had such a big hit on their hands with the Micro Machines, Hasbro actually paid $220 million to buy the rights to have the micro machines. That's how well that they were actually selling in the store. Yeah. So
it makes sense. Yeah, I even had a few. I had Batman, but same thing.
Yeah, the Ertl ones that they were making. I mean, that was the thing, though. Once you got a company hit, I mean, it's the same thing with Matchbox. Matchbox started making off those vehicles, and then Hot Wheels came in, and then other companies like Ertl came in, and then there's a bunch of smaller ones that came in that were doing. Yeah, and there were some of them that were doing specifically movie vehicles in the same Matchbox and Hot Wheel size. But holy crap, and they're still around today. And that's the amazing thing. It talks about the longevity of toys that are actually being made with a little bit of care.
Yeah, one thing I found out the hard way is that the Matchbox cars wouldn't go through the Hot Wheels power charger very well.
No.
Because I had an old Matchbox, Batmobile.
Well, I mean, they did that on purpose. They wanted you
under the wheel, so they're stuck.
Yeah, they wanted you to buying all the accessories from them. They didn't want you buying the rivals accessories. But that's where you get into some of these like third and fourth party companies that were making toys that were similar. They made them so they were more than large enough to accommodate any of the other cars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Micro Machines were a thing back in the 80s.
Yep.
And they were a thing all the way. I mean, even today, the Wicked Cool Toys and a few of the other ones that are making them, they're still around. As a matter of fact, that they had releases of Micro Machine figures for some of these newer Star Wars movies that came out. You don't see them very often, and they don't come packaged like the old Hot Wheels and the old Micro Machine things used to do on the blister cards. They actually come in like a little baggie now. They almost look like something that would be in one of the bubblegum machines. So Angela said I had a bunch of that stuff. Used to mix Micro Machines with my Mighty Max and the TMNT Micro Mini playsets as well. Yeah, I remember seeing the TMNT playsets. I don't remember if we had any or not. But they had so many of those play sets when they started coming out with those. Holy crap. I mean, I was actually fortunate to find some of the Star Wars ones. They don't have creativity, quality. And like most of the toys, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a few companies that are still doing it right. Hasbro has their moments where they absolutely knock it out of the park. And then other times they come close, but they just kind of like fall short. Then you had Mattel that did the retro releases of the He-Man figures. That was got knocked out of the park. I haven't myself seen physically any of the retro TMNT toys yet, the Turtles. I haven't seen them yet, but I heard that they are being done really well as also. There was also the Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters lineup that they came out. Yeah. They were like almost picture perfect to the original figures, and they were flying off the toy shelves.
I like what they did with the He-Man reissue because they actually added articulation.
Well, you know what? Here's one of the things.
Original figures, you couldn't bend the elbows and knees. These we could.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had a few. I had a few of them, and I had two of them that actually opened up, and the articulation is there, but it's not like they put on the packaging. Like the He-Man figure, the joints were so stiff on it that I couldn't really get them to bend as well as it should have. Especially on the packaging. The Hordak figure was the complete opposite. The joints were so loose on it, it was easy to move them, but it almost felt like it wasn't going to stand because some of the joints felt a little bit too sloppy. So
it's like the original figures back in the day, though. They you just knees and elbows did not bend at all. It was solid pieces.
Yep. They just had a shoulder movement, and the legs were on like a rubber band. Yeah, I think that's one thing a lot of people missed about that is that the ball joint that was in the legs that was actually on a rubber band. So if you left that thing in a very hot environment or, someplace where it could rot, that band would just snap off. My brother did that, unfortunately, and he had like a Hordak figure, a Skeletor figure, and a couple other ones where he left them in a bad spot and the rubber band deteriorated and it fell apart. And now they're in pieces in one of my boxes back there. And unfortunately, unlike G.I. Joe, where it had a screw in the back and you could pop the G.I. Joe apart, put a new gasket washer in there to replace the old band. The He-Man figures don't come apart like that. There's no screws in them. Nope. They're all like solidly glued. Yeah. What's going on, memes? Unfortunately, trying to figure out how I'm even going to possibly repair that is going to be a chore. I'm thinking that if I pop the head off and maybe the arms or something like that, maybe that'll give me enough room to get in there where it's really long neck tweezers. That maybe I'll be able to put a new band in there, but then again, maybe not. I don't know what the inside's going to look like. It might be a solid post in there, and there'll be no way to replace it. So I'll figure something out one way or the other.
I think I may have to break it apart.
Yeah, I would hate to have to do that because
break the seam. Yeah.
Yeah, you know how that always works. It never comes apart the way you want it to.
Mm-hmm. So I like my 12-inch GI Joes again.
Yeah, right.
Upgrade them, and that's one thing that kind of regret losing the most in various eviction stuff. It's like I was having a decent little collection of GI Joe, 12-inch GI Joes. I had an original from '64. There was some cracks in the knees, so I got it cheap. But it's like, hey, it's still pretty intact. and I had a black guy who I called G.I. Jamal. Had to replace the entire body. For some reason, brown plastic just the least it started crumbling in my hands. So I ended up having to send out to get a replacement body. Only thing left was the head. And that was just a small, it's the fuzzy head, so it's just a small bald patch. So I kept the hat on him.
Yeah, I think the ones with the fuzzy hair came out, and then what was that like? Was that early 70s? Mid 70s? Yeah, because I remember the early ones. Those heads on those almost look like, God, they almost look like hard plastic. I mean, they were kind of funny looking. The original ones.
Yeah, they were, and I somehow managed to hold on to my original GI Joe. Originally had the hard hands, but I replaced them with the Kung Fu grip ones. But somehow he escaped the scavengers when he had an eviction pile out there. They grabbed the old one, they grabbed Jamal, they grabbed the Jeep they're in, but somehow, maybe because I currently had him, dressed up as, well, they remember the 12-inch Star Trek figures they had for a while, and they did not wear articulation, but they had a Captain Pike. And he's currently wearing that uniform and the boots from a 12-inch Han Solo. So,
well, that was one of the things that a lot of the companies like Mego used to do with those figures back there, is they would kind of mix and match all the different outfits. That's why you wound up getting some of those figures that didn't even look like they did, like especially in Star Trek. There was a lot of those Mego figures. They did not look anything at all like the characters they were supposed to represent. Yes. Yeah. There was the one thumb on the G.I. Joe. Yeah, they would break off. But there was also a thumb on the G.I. Joe that set it apart from all the hackers out there that were trying to steal the design. And it was actually a mistake that they made in the molding. And
thumbnail was backwards.
The thumbnail was on the wrong side of the hand. It was on the underside instead of the top side. So that's how they wound up. Yeah, that's how they wound up getting the companies that were trying to pretty much proliferate their toys by trying to copy them. We lost Shellback again. The librarians probably got them. The librarians are always
company. The Cotswold Collective. They specialize in like 12-inch GI Joe type figures, but also they also go into the high ender one, the dragon stuff, where it's like $120 for a figure, because it's a very, very, very detailed, historical outfit. And they've recently started getting into the 8-inch Mego style too. But I think that's where I went to get Jamal's new body.
I know, I had a whole bunch of those Migos. I had like Planet of the Apes, the old superheroes line. I had a whole bunch of them. I was starting to I think I only found a handful of them. And the newer ones that they have now, while they look kind of close to the original ones, there's something about them that looks just a little off.
Well, the newer Star Trek ones, I know the uniforms are slightly because. Well, Kirk, they never had the green wrap around it, but now they do. But Spock's one, the original tunic wasn't this dark blue.
I mean, I think it's still commendable that they even got it close. But
and then, I'm just glad Marty's back in business and doing this stuff. He shouldn't have got out of it.
Yeah, G.I. Joe figures are pretty easy to work on, but those He-Man figures, Luffy, those I'm going to have a hard time fixing them. But go ahead, Curtis.
Which one do you like better, Hot Wheels or Matchbox?
That's a tough one. I like the Matchbox because they would do more realistic cars, but some of the fantasy type cars that Hot Wheels did were really cool too. So I mean, that's a tough one to say.
Well, Hot Wheels are meant to be played with. That's the thing.
Wow, I always thought the Hot Wheels were more like detailed.
Well, there was a lot of the Hot Wheel lines that they did more like a fantasy car than Matchbox did.
I guess you're right. Now I look at it, Matchbox did have more detail, but they always felt cheaper to me.
Well, they were marketed cheaper. Like they didn't have the higher price tag. Like Hot Wheels had a higher price tag to them.
I got like both though. At the end of the day.
Well, like I said, I mean, plus you had Ertl and a few of those other toy companies, but Ertl was one of the big ones up there with Matchbox and Hot Wheels. So,
well, Matchbox were display cars. Everything looked nice on the shelf.
I
Whereas
play
Hot
with
Wheels are
mine.
meant to, they're toys. They're meant to be played with. You know.
Well, yeah, you know what? And there was actually a few lines of Matchbox cars that were legitimately only for collectors. They were slightly bigger than the small vehicles that you would have. They were like the intermediate size, and they did like a lot of the old style cars, like Model T Fords and whatnot. I mean, I have a few of those. They came in a big square box, and they were specifically just for collectors and collectors only. Hey, Shellback, back again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will find a way.
Hot Wheels, since Hot Wheels now has the Batmobile, the Batman license, now they put out Batmobiles. So I'm pretty sure if I could put together that old track with that little power charger, wheel spinning, I could run that Batmobile through it, and it would just shoot right on through.
All right, what you got, Shellback?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
Oh.
Well,
yeah, no, I don't know. I guess I drove through a tunnel or something. I don't know.
Jeez. I'm getting ready to wrap this up because I want to send people over to see Darius.
Mm-hmm.
I want to help support him like he's been supporting all of us. So,
yeah, I should be jumping in there too. Yeah.
Curtis has already dropped the link in there. Like I said, when you go over there, put hashtag guinea pig raid. Let Darius know that we're coming there for him. And if he's not careful, his toes might get taken off. But I appreciate everybody that's come by today. You know, JJ was through earlier. Steve was earlier. Jens was through. Shellback, Curtis, and Captain Robert. April, thank you all for coming, and thank you for taking part in tonight's stream. It's always so much fun to be able to talk about all these things from the past and why we love them so much. Robert, April, do you got anything you want to say to anybody as we're getting ready to close this out?
Well, yeah, we're actually somewhat stable for the moment because we had a last-minute rescue there so actually we're able to pay for tomorrow, and I can get down there and do the thing now. Just go back to begging tomorrow. But hopefully things will stabilize enough. I can get back to actually doing content and talking about fan stuff and not poor pitiful me.
Awesome.
And,
Curtis, what do you got going on, my friend?
Got my drop part 2. Took me a while just because I was so busy today. I had to take I had got a whole new car and everything, and like my car took a crap on me. Timing belt broke after replacing it after a year, so that wasn't supposed to happen. And I had to so. And then, I was loading up the CD player and it got all jammed up. So I've been replacing the stereo. But it should be cool. I'll get a touch screen stereo. It'll be all new and a backup cam, all for $50. So I'm,
nice.
Gotta do some wiring. But, I'm kind of looking forward to the experience. So besides
that's one thing, though, Curtis. When it rains, it pours. And nothing ever just happens by itself as a lone number.
Yeah.
You've always got to get slapped multiple times like a live fish with the tail on your face.
And a month before, I got pulled over for my registration, which I was, again, just so swamped. I didn't even realize I needed to pay it. I thought I did. And so I got pulled over, got a ticket. Then the car took a crap like a month after. Not even a month, I don't think. And I spent $1,000 on maintenance. Like when I got that timing belt replaced and everything, it was just horrible. I got the brakes done. I was like trying my best to make sure, and then it fucking just gone. Nothing you can do about it. I did my best and boom, it just still happened. So, but I got a kind of a cooler car now, so I'm kind of happy at the same time. So, roll with the punches.
That's the only thing you can do most of the time. But
it's not a manual, but it's definitely faster.
But make sure to stop by and see Curtis. Check out some of his movie reviews. Go ahead and give him a sub. And Shellback, do you got anything going on, Shell?
Well, I'm gonna be doing my anime show on Saturday, 2 p.m. Pacific. I think it's gonna be like episode 9 of Outlaw Star. So, other than that, I might start actually doing some videos again instead of streaming. Just streaming, and like DVD reviews. So
awesome. Well, you know what? Sometimes the videos actually help you too. I mean, I know at one point it was like, live streams is what, is going to, get you the most time or get you the most people watching or get the most people interacting. But it's starting to
Not
fall back into
necessarily.
the, well, no, it was that way for a while, but now it's actually falling back and you need a little bit of both. You need to stream a little bit here and there, but you also need to be able to put out some regular content and videos for the people that just don't have time to stop by for the live streams. And as we hopefully eventually get to the point where more businesses are opening up and people are going back to work, it's going to wind up going a lot more back into video. So there's a lot of people that are already making that shift. So I mean,
that's something I'm thinking about. I actually took some pictures and stuff of a couple of videos that I had to return to the library. So those might be my first two DVD reviews, and that's it's going to be Starship Troopers and 1989 Batman.
Nice. Awesome. Okay, so everybody, please make sure to go over and support Darius. # Guinea Pig Raid. Thank you all for coming. It's been so much fun to be able to, to chat with you guys and be able to discuss some of these memories and some of the things that you all were saying in the chat is absolutely hilarious. I love it. And, Citizen 333, I know you came in late. It happens. No worries. No worries. But we're going to take you out the same way that we came in. Make sure that you subscribe to everybody that's been on the panel tonight. Make sure to see Darius and # Guinea Pig Raid, and we are going to catch you next time. Remember, never let anybody tell you what you can and can't say, what you should or should not watch, because your silence gives consent and may wind up getting your toes nibbled off.